But I want to jump into Michigan State because Michigan jumped in their ass Saturday. That was as embarrassing a loss as I can remember as a Spartan fan. Truly. I mean, there's very few games that rise to the level of what took place Saturday. Very few. I mean, you're talking Duke in 2001 wearing those stupid silver uniforms. It was absolutely embarrassing. And look, I said to you, if they went out and they didn't win the next couple of games by big margin, play really well, make a statement that the OSU game was an aberration, that there was problems, that I would talk about those problems. And that's where we're here today. Look, the Rutgers game was lousy. They sleptwalked. It just didn't look right, didn't feel right. But I gave them one more chance. We talked about it on the show Thursday. I said, look, Saturday's the game where Michigan comes in off an emotional loss. They're coming to your place. It's your only shot. They've kicked your ass in the past. Got to make that happen. And they never had control of that game. Not once. And I think it's time to call into question Tom Izzo. I mean, I know that makes Spartan fans uncomfortable, and if it makes you uncomfortable, turn the radio. I don't know what to tell you. And I know what you'll say. Oh, well, you questioned them before, and they turned around and went to the Final Four. Don't care. Get something straight, dude. Tom Izzo sits on the toilet like everybody else. Doesn't mean he's perfect, because I'll tell you right now, this team is a wreck. They are a wreck, and I think Tom's got something to do with it. Okay, first and foremost, we've always talked about this. The game has moved on. You can't run the same set you ran in like 1997. You don't have Mateen running it. You can't play the same brutally physical defense you want to play because, well, the officiating has changed. But Tom attempts to do both. Now, I know, I'll put a caveat in there. I'm not saying he hasn't tried to tweak things, tried to adapt some things. But when you are coming down and painfully watching MSU pass the ball around in sets that teams know what's coming, it's not good enough. That's not why you make $5 million a year. Now, I know I'm ungrateful, right? I have to sit there and just basically turn him into a deity like many of you do with Harbaugh. I'm not going to do it. This team's half-court offense is a disaster. It gets even worse when you put people like Tum Tum Nairn and Matt McQuaid out there. It can't happen. It's like Tom's obsession with these sets, along with his obsessive behavior with substitution patterns. It's a perfect storm, and it results in this team's offense being broken. The other problem is they seemingly are trying to get Miles Bridges going by featuring him out at the top of the key. The problem is Miles can't really dribble. Not in the open floor like that. Now, different if you've got him on a post-up and he faces up. Might be able to take a guy real quick. He loves going to the baseline, but they're not doing a lot of that. You know what I never see, and I think it would be the most effective thing? Why don't you just isolate Jaren Jackson on one side of the floor? Start it out with a two-man game, clear out the guy. They're not going to be able to double. Let the kid attack. Jaren Jackson is probably their best offensive player gift-wise right now. They don't do it. You know, they went out. Cassius got like an easy layup off a double screen. I never saw him go back to that. Now, I'm sure maybe they tried once. But the bottom line is they don't have an identity. They don't have staples in the half-court offense. They don't have any go-to stuff. The stuff Tom runs doesn't work. And here's the other problem, too. These kids, they're not tough. They're not a tough team. And it doesn't make them bad kids when I say this, but let's just call it what it is. He's got a group that would rather go to, sit around and talk about the Bible than guys that would go out and take a tire iron to someone's car. And it's a problem because Spartan teams that have passed, the great ones, there is absolutely no way Mo Wagner is going to be chirping the bench and chirping the crowd and swagging in there like he's at a Berlin discotheque and get away with it. But now, they don't have anybody doing anything about it. They're all too nice. They're all too friendly. Ask any great coach. He won't say it publicly, but he'll probably say it privately. You need a couple of jerks. You need a couple of bleep holes. You need some guys that have a bad side. Now, I don't care how Tom gets it out of him. I don't know if he's got to yell. I don't know if he's got to smash videotapes. I don't know if he's got to break out the football pads. I don't care. I don't need to see another story. All I'll tell you is this, and this is a PSA for all Spartan fans. The next time Tom Izzo has a team with this much talent on it, He'll be wearing a suit and lying down in a pine box because he'll be dead and it's in his dreams. This is the best team he's ever going to have the remainder of his career, talent-wise. So go figure it out. You make $5 million a year. You're the best coach State's ever had. You're going to be a Hall of Famer. But when people criticize Tom Izzo, this is the stuff they talk about. Yeah, the March is great. What about the rest of the season? Yeah, he's got all the Final Fours, but what about the one title? Go figure it out. It's his job to figure it out. He's got more basketball knowledge in his right nut than I got in my whole body. I'm not paid to figure it out. Now, I can offer you some suggestions on what I think needs changing, and that's just as a guy who's watched every single Michigan State basketball game for damn near 20 years. But enough's enough. You can't come out and look that way at home against a rival. You can't play 3 games like this in a row and look the way they look. And when you look at Michigan State's schedule, very soft. That North Carolina game doesn't look as good as it did. The Notre Dame game doesn't look as good as it did. And it's a lot of filler in there. You want to come to grips, say this team's not that good, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and tell you they are. They don't deserve it. I think it's an embarrassment they're sitting at number 9 in the poll. The way this team's played their last 3 games, they should reside outside the top 15. But I tell you now, this idea that you're going to go 10 deep with the bench, and I got to look at lineups that feature McQuaid, Tillman, Goins, Tum, please. It's not a personal attack on anybody. But you cannot put certain combinations out there. It's like personnel groupings in football. I'll tell you the other thing I would do. I think the starting 5, I think you got to make a big-time change. The floor is way too clogged. The spacing sucks. And it would help the bench. And I really think the guy that needs to take a seat is probably Nick Ward. And I think you slide Miles next to Jaren Jackson. Jaren plays the center. Miles plays the 4. Put them on opposite sides of the post and go that route. But you cannot continue doing this. And I know Tom today, it's tired and, well, we're going to play an extra conference. I don't hear any of it. This is the most talented team you've had since 2001 when Zach Randolph was coming off the bench. I don't want to hear it. I hate excuse makers. I hate the people that just deify Tom Izzo. I can love Tom Izzo. I can respect Tom Izzo without having to drop to my knees and basically give him carte blanche that he is never to be criticized. This lineup is unacceptable. The performances are unacceptable. Having Michigan come into your house and defecate on your floor and then tell you to clean it up, that ain't acceptable. Having a team come into Breslin and out-tough you, that ain't acceptable. So don't come to me with this crap about what Tom did in 05 or what he did in 09 or all the memories of the Flints. I don't care. It's about today and now, not how many wins he's going to finish with or what he might do. I don't care. This is the shot at a national title right here in front of you in a given year where there aren't many great teams. In a given year where, like, Arizona State could be a 2 seed. Go get it done. Saturday was embarrassing. Was awful. And you know what? There ain't no crying involved in that. I don't want to hear about refs. I don't want to hear about I don't want to hear nothing. Michigan came in and punked us. That's shameful. Should never happen. There's not a kid in Michigan starting 5 who would start for us. Period. Get it right. Fix it. Stupid wires are all tangled around over here. I'm probably going to rope my legs like a calf and trip over myself.
Be careful over there, Mike.
I know. Sorry. I'll throw the number out. I don't know who plans on calling in. I don't know if anybody cares. We weren't available yesterday. It was a holiday. But I think there's major problems up there. I think Tom deserves some heat. I think those kids deserve heat. I think certain guys should never play again, essentially.